Nobody you know has become successful without it being given to them from their family. Nobody you know has created success without working their face off. It doesn't exist. You can sit and talk about luck and other things, but I promise you, the only controllable thing you have is your work ethic. You need to deploy serious self-awareness and figure out who you are. I implore you to start matching your work ethic and actions to your words. Why is LeBron James who he is? It's not because he's lucky. He might have certain physical factors, but Michael Jordan, whom I interviewed years ago, said, "Tony, I can tell you the truth. It won't sound like hyperbole or false modesty. I didn't even make the high school basketball team. My sophomore year, I was cut. What it is every day I demand more from myself than anybody else could possibly expect. I don't compete with other people. I compete with what I'm capable of. That kind of standard is inspiring. Today, the 18 founders of Alibaba are considered legendary. People think they must be super good at it, but honestly, most of us could not find jobs in the early days. We weren't that smart. None of us graduated from a great university, but we were ready to learn. We believed in the future. If we work together and learn, we will improve and be there. The common thread among successful people, financially, athletes, or people in politics, is hunger. You and I both know intelligence is valuable, but many smart people can't fight their way out of a paper bag. When you find someone with a hunger that doesn't go away, a hunger to be more, do more, give more, that never ends, you find the best in the world at whatever they do. Everybody has that hunger, but for some, it's been asleep for a long time because they're afraid. They're afraid of trying and failing. It's human nature to protect yourself from fear by lowering your expectations. But one thing I've learned is you get what you tolerate. You get what you tolerate in yourself, and as you tolerate your life, sooner or later, we hit a point where we say, not another day. This is done. I'm not walking this way, talking this way, living this way. I'm not going to be in this relationship anymore. I'm going to change it. When people do that, it's the beginning of a breakthrough. Success is not something you pursue, it's something you develop. People often ask me how to develop an above-average income. The answer is to become an above-average person. Develop an above-average handshake. Some people want to be successful, but don't even work on their handshake, as easy as it would be to get started on top. They let it slide. They don't understand develop an above-average smile, intelligence, interest in other people, and intensity to win. That will change everything. Learn to work harder on yourself than on your job. The first decision you make each day is to get up and get moving. That means you are persistently bigger than your excuses, persistently bigger than feeling lazy, and persistently beating the feelings that typically stop you. So when you go hard mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, you need to have time set aside to quiet and recover. Recovery is important for the mind and body. This is my time, no phone calls, no emails. The world does not exist because I have to get ready for tomorrow. Get the body to open up. If you don't, your body gets tight from stress. A lot of people go hard, but stress starts to tighten up the muscles. I always say life is the dance between what you desire most and what you fear most. If you can expand your desires and break through your fears, you massively expand your life. It's about what you're saying to yourself, but it also comes with work. Whenever I was getting beaten down physically, mentally, spiritually, or whatever I was going through, I would say, "You can't hurt me." One side. A lot of people start from a good foundation. What if you could surpass all of these? If everybody who was way up here started up here, and you started with no legs, had to grow legs to even start walking, then crawling, then running, and then you start passing people with everything given to them. I had to use all the negativity that was making me weak and horrible as a person as the power now fuels me. I had to flip it on its head and say, hold up, this might be exactly what I need. The darkness is exactly what I need. It's how you look at your situation. I was looking at it as an opportunity. This is a world's flat moment. People who learn to gain from the system understand that this discomfort we feel, we actually are right. Like, they actually don't understand the game they're in. Business is an infinite game, and when you play with a finite mindset, lots of people suffer, including the companies they themselves are trying to build. That's the great irony. The way you build great companies is with an infinite mindset. The way you build great companies is by prioritizing people before profit. The way you build great companies is with or before resources. Both things are important. But there has to be this general leaning where we can feel that when we come to work, we are part of something bigger than ourselves. We need to feel that our work and effort are worth more than simply the money we make. Stop being this high school dropout. Stop giving up. Stop sleeping on the street. Stop walking up and down Finkel Avenue like you ain't got nothing and get your jet. Stop being afraid to take a test. Who are you right now, and who must you become in order to create what you want? What has to change about you? You're not going to be the best. You're not going to catch the best if you're not intentional and deliberate. There are those of you in your space, whatever you're trying to do, who don't even represent the best in your space. And you're still not giving 120%. You're trying to catch the person who's the best. And you're waking up and giving me 70%, 80%. But you have dreams of being the best. Many people are hopeless and nihilistic, way more people than you think. Part of that is because no one's ever really encouraged them. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Every single thing you say you wanted to accomplish, you wanted to do. Guess what? We still got time, baby. It is not lost. You still have time. That's right, you still got time, baby. This isn't about playing basketball like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, or Dwayne Wade. There are guys in the NBA who are never going to play basketball like that. This is about being able to think like a champion, knowing what goes on in their heads, and understanding how you can relate it to your business and whatever you do to take yourself to the next level. Any of you, as I have been and as I am, are where you are in your life based upon what you believe. It's not just what you think you believe on the surface, it's also your shadow beliefs that are holding you back from moving into the life you believe you deserve. What I know is, if you're not looking at the shadows, if you're not looking at what is subconsciously running through the tape in your mind, telling yourself you're not good enough, not worthy enough, not smart enough, you're not enough, which is a tape that's playing for a lot of people. If you're not conscious of that, then you end up acting out of that belief system, not out of what you know to be the truest or want to be the truest for yourself. You don't become what you want because so much of wanting is about living in the space of what you don't have. That's why Jim Carrey's story is so powerful. He started to act as though he already had it. He would drive up to Mulholland Drive thinking, I already have those things. I just haven't accessed them yet. I believe those things are going to come to me, and I'm going to act like they are. So he moved forward in his life in order to draw that to himself, in such a way that his actions were in alignment with what he said he believed. So, if you start to think about that, really, why are you where you are in your life? The choices that you have made have become what makes for a bad day. Snoozing, starting your day off late, starting your day off tired, starting your day off by mainlining everybody else's news feed on social media and looking at everybody else's life. You start off your day by looking at that, saying to yourself, oh my God, they're on vacation. Gosh, they look so great. Or their friends are so fancy. Or, my gosh, I got some money. If you start off your day looking at that, you're never going to have a good day. You've got to start off your day by getting up on time, figuring out your priorities, and then getting to work on them. I think the single biggest reason why people have bad days is because they start them off by looking around at everybody else and seeing what they're doing instead of having the focus and the focus. Discipline to start your day with yourself in control and your priorities front and center. If a new day starts in the dark, why are you afraid to use your dark side for your new beginnings? When you're working on a business or in life, things will always go wrong. That's the human condition. We've all been quitters at some point. Nobody's journey is seamless or smooth. We all stumble and have setbacks. The question is not if these things will happen to you. They will. The question is, what do we do next? The only way to push past the mountain of obstacles trying to stop you is to have maniacal focus. You need to know exactly what you want, have clarity of purpose and a crystal clear vision in your mind of what you're trying to accomplish, something you can articulate in a single sentence. When you have that and you focus on it all day, think about exactly how you're going to make it happen and tie your identity to it. Then you've got a chance. When you face a challenge, remember this: you have nothing to lose. Stand up, go forward, go out in a blaze of glory, fighting with everything you've got, every ounce of energy, every bead of sweat, every drop of blood, until your last breath. Winning is not about the trophy and the accolades. It's about the grind, the obstacles, the challenges, and the pain you endure along the way. My glory happens in the darkness of the early morning, in solitude, where I try again with everything I have to be the best I can possibly be. Better than I was yesterday. Better than I was yesterday. Better than I thought I could be. Better than I thought. Then I claim one victory that no one can ever take away from me. A victory earned every single day. A victory of determination, will, and discipline achieved because I will not stop. How you do anything is how you do everything. It's the little things, the real decisions you make every single day, as small as they seem, that create an environment in your head of what you're becoming. Are you a finisher or a quitter? Where are you? Yes. How you do anything is how you do everything. I've got a topic now called the 4 major lessons in life to learn. Life and business are like the changing seasons. You cannot change the seasons. That's impossible. You can't rearrange the seasons. You cannot say, I'll take 5 harvest times, no winters, a few springs, and a summer or 2. You can't rearrange them. The seasons are going to come, however they come, and you cannot change that. So you cannot change the seasons that make this note. You can change yourself. Only human beings have the extraordinary ability to make dramatic changes in their lives. All other life forms, except humans, are driven by instinct and genetic code. In America, the goose can only fly south in the winter. Why? Because it's a goose. It can't fly in any other direction. But that's not true for human beings. Humans can go north, south, east, or west. Humans can live one way for 5 years and then tear up that script and live a totally different way the next 5 years. Humans can do that. I'm asking you to utilize your power as a human being and change your life to whatever degree you want. If you want your income to change, I'm telling you it's within your power. You're not a tree, you don't have to stay. You're not a goose, you don't have to fly south. Anytime you want to, you can say, I'm going to change my attitude, my income, my abilities. I'm going to do more than I've ever done before. Take that as your God-given right as a human being to change your life to whatever degree you want. So, learn the value of the seasons. You can't change them, but you can change yourself. Here are the 4 major lessons in life to learn. Learn how to handle the winters. It's a fact of life that winters follow the fall, the harvest. Winter comes after fall, night comes after day. Difficulty follows opportunity, and recession always comes after expansion. So, the winters are going to come, including the winter of sickness, the winter of disappointment, the winter of devastation, social winters, economic winters, personal winters, when your heart is smashed into 1,000 pieces, and the nights are unusually long. It's simply called wintertime. But the winters are inevitable. So it has been for the last 6,500 years of recorded history. You might ask, Mr. Rohn, what can I do about the winters of life? Yan, and dolkrisolkodi, am say tris valley and tweed In World War II, we marched against the winter, and eventually, spring came. We marched against the tyranny of communism, and finally, the walls came tumbling down. We marched against the tyranny of the Nazis, and finally liberated the world for democracy and freedom. That's what I'm telling you. It's possible for you to conquer your winters. Mel, only, Anais, okay. How do you keep going? Your dad used to say that one of the things he'd gotten good at, and wanted you to get good at, was not letting the energy of a negative situation or confrontation carry you away. Beyond bridal. Now, in moments of failure, which are usually really embarrassing, all the talk in the world doesn't help if you're caught up in the energy. It's easy to want to turn and run in the opposite direction. So, how do you learn not to get caught up in that energy? We're people, and we feel what others feel. It hurts when people say bad things about us, and it doesn't feel good when people don't believe in us. My dad always told me that if something doesn't go the way you planned, and you find yourself in that situation, don't panic. The most important thing you can do is stay calm and stay present. I remember a scene from a Vietnam War film where a sergeant stood in the middle of a battle with bullets zipping by, and he directed his men with calm authority. His presence of mind amidst the chaos and destruction saved their lives. I think that presence of mind and ability to stay calm is crucial. You've laid a plan, and if something unexpected arises, that doesn't mean your plan is bad. It got you to where you are. Now, you have to deal with what's in front of you. It doesn't mean to run away or stop. It means to deal with it. Move through it, around it, over it, or under it, but keep moving forward. Rectify the situation, regroup, and go on. Your legacy is every life you've touched. And that shifted the way I see legacy. What you leave behind or what you do. Maya explained to me that over the years, people who decided to go back to school, lose weight, stop hitting their children, or leave a bad marriage were all influenced by the voice they heard. Golly, yes, your legacy is every life you've touched. We like to think that great philanthropic moments are what leave the biggest impact, but it's really what you do every day. It's how you use your life to be a light to someone else, and how you use your work as an expression of your own art, whatever that may be. How do you overcome the suffering of life? How do you overcome the suffering of life? Just be a better person. That's how you do it. Well, that's hard. It takes responsibility. And I think, you said to someone you want to have a meaningful life. Everything you do matters. That's the definition of the meaning of life. But everything you do matters. You're going to have to carry that with you. Do you realize that every day you thought you weren't going to make it? Do you remember those days when you thought it was absolutely unbearable and you thought you weren't going to endure that one? I'm telling you, do me a favor, just don't let it break you. Just don't let it break you. If you get past it, on the other side of it, it's going to be phenomenal. The ultimate resource is our emotional states. If you're creative enough, can you find the answer? Yes or no? If you're determined enough, can you find the breakthrough? Yes or no? If you're passionate and loving enough, can you get someone to help you? Yes or no? If there's no way that you're committed, can you find the money even if you don't have it? Yes or no? So I said creativity, decisiveness, passion, honesty, sincerity, love. These are the ultimate human resources. And when you engage these resources, you can get any other resource on earth. So if you don't put the work in today, if you don't do the unending, backbreaking work of developing yourself into something greater, the world is going to pass you by. The people that are going to own it are going to be the ones that did that work. And the one promise that I can make you right now is that somebody out there is outworking somebody right now. Somebody is doing the things that I'm saying. Somebody right now is doing the work of failing and getting up and getting better. pushing themselves and triggering that glorious adaptation response that makes humans the apex predator. Someone right now is putting in that work, and if you don't, the future is going to belong to them. So when you stop outsourcing your happiness, your validation, your support, when you bring it back in and you get responsible for it, when you're responsible, when you're the driver of your life, when you're not looking out to anybody else to fix it for you, you're the one that has to do the work. You're the one who has to push your own self. You're the one who has to figure out what makes you happy. You're the one who has to figure out and become self-aware about what you need. And then you're the one that has to find whatever it is, the courage of being humble enough to ask for help. And as Martin Luther King Jr. said, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Yes, ang moment. About kani all nine sixty-three in alcohol. Anybody that you feel very strongly about, have some negative feelings about, let's look at some good reasons to forgive them. Number 1, you must try and see what has happened or see things from that other person's point of view. Let's look at it from their point of view. That's one area. That's number 1. Then number 2, holding a grudge hurts you. It doesn't hurt them. So just for good health and peace of mind, let it go. Any feeling of resentment or anger or hatred is called to me the load of bitterness within. Every thought that we entertain produces a chemical in our brain that impacts the body's immune system. VOA system. And besides, this person you're hating, they probably are not even aware of it. If they're someplace having a good time, they don't even know you're really hating them. You've turned up the steam, gone from dislike to hate, intense hate, and here you are killing yourself, making yourself vulnerable to various types of illnesses, putting yourself in bad health. And I say that person is not worth sacrificing your health or 1 minute of peace of mind. 1 minute anger robs you of 60 seconds of happiness. So decide it doesn't matter. Let it go and experience the dignity and the magnanimous sense of character of being big enough to move on and get on with your life. Letting it go so you can grow. Next step, lack of self-acceptance. How does it show up? How does it manifest itself? See, all of us have greatness within us. But when you don't come to grips with your greatness and you don't work to develop it, if you're not seeking it out, if you're not finding where it is, if you're not trying to locate it, if you're not experimenting with your life to try and find out what fits for you, I'm saying that you're positioning yourself to be a miserable person. An unfulfilled person. How else do we do it? Procrastination. How else do we do it? We just put things off over and over and over again. Why? Because we haven't accepted it. We don't feel deserving. We don't feel that we're good enough. So we sabotage ourselves by not ever taking care of business. We get real busy doing a lot of things where we don't have any time. Well, I'll never forget Ogmundino. In the book called University of Success, he said many of us never discover our greatness because we become sidetracked by secondary activity. We start doing so many things, we just give our time away until we don't have any time for ourselves or any time to do the things that we want to do. And every time you put it off and move it back, oh, I'll do it one day. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get to it. I'm saying to you that one day you look around and there goes the year. There goes 2 years, there goes 3 years. So there's something you want to do. Do it now. Do it right now. Don't put it off. Start right now where you are. There will never be a perfect ideal time. Whatever you have going for you right now, that's enough. Work on that idea. Work on it. Work on it. Work. Work on it. Work on it. Work. Way. Besides, commit. Activity. Succeed. Repeat. Way. Send function. Well, 4. The one thing that all the greats have in common is they sweat the small stuff. They pay very, very close attention to every detail. Michael used to sweat the details so much in his basketball game that it carried on into his personal life. The suit had to match the car he was driving that particular day. But what those details allowed him to do was to put him in the zone to be the best basketball player on that given night. The dark side is something that's in everybody, but it's a situation that you have to control. The dark side, if it controls you, that's when things start to go really, really bad. That's when you have a tendency to go to what I call the other side. But if you harness the fuel from that dark side, whether it's anger or fear, and turn that into positive fuel, it'll help you really succeed at whatever you're trying to do. Empowerment is authority. It is a sign, a permission slip to actually seize the day. It's the process of getting stronger and more confident and more engaged. To be empowered is to move through the world without any kind of fear or any kind of apology. And with these gifts comes an even deeper privilege, I believe, and that is the ability to take charge of your own life, to own yourself and claim your rights. And here's what I know for sure: to whom much is given, much is expected. And I have been given so much. I've earned it. I've been blessed with it, but I've been given a lot. And that's why I've chosen to use my life to lift other people up. What do you really want? Do you know most people can't tell you what they really want? They don't know what they really want. They have never sat down and gotten super serious about what they really want. Because when it starts to come to you, instantly we're thinking, how can we do it? And we forget it. I tell a story about sitting down with a couple, Pat and John. They worked for Sun Life Insurance Company. I had a big contract with them and was doing work. They came and asked me one day, can we meet you for lunch or something? Okay. Sitting and talking to them, and I talked to them for quite a while. They were telling me how rough things were, and it was going in the wrong direction. So I liked to study for a little while. I said, what do you really want? Neil. Nensainang. Lokalife. Yades. Urban lives. They had no idea what they wanted, but they kept pressing. What do you really want? No, my that says. Well, they were living in a basement apartment in somebody's house. They wanted to have their own house. I said, we're going to buy one. Nine? Yeah? Twice. They said, we can't buy a house. We don't have any money. Next. I said, you don't need any money. Because what do you mean we don't need any money? They asked. I said, you haven't decided to buy a house. What the hell do you need the money for? Nej, need RD, Now that is so light, you could easily pass that over. They didn't need the money because they hadn't made a decision to buy the house, yet you make the decision to do it. Once you make the decision, you have already done it in your mind. You have flipped your mind onto a different frequency. You will then begin to attract to you whatever is required for the manifestation of what it is you've decided to do. This is a success symposium. This is a day that you've set aside, and I've set aside to be more successful, get our act together, hit our potential, and climb to a new level. I think success, first of all, is knowing my purpose in life. As I have watched and observed successful people, I have discovered that they really have figured out why they're here. They truly have their act together. Knowing their purpose in life provides them stability. So when everyone else is rocking and rolling, and things are a little unsteady, and people are abandoning their causes, these people hold steady throughout the storm because they have a true North Star. They are truly focused. It becomes an anchor in their life that holds them steady. And this anchor is a confidence based upon a knowledge of purpose. I say to you that if you begin to make a conscious effort to find out what you're supposed to do, it can literally save your life. Life happens for you. Opportunities will come to you every day. It's either for you, or you can remain scared of the opportunities, or you can embrace them and take action. I think many of us don't take the next step because we don't know what to do yet. The reason we don't explore the possibility of what to do is because subconsciously we don't believe it can happen for us, and we don't believe we deserve it. So here's what I'm suggesting. How much time do you spend working on you? How much time do you spend every day working on your dream? You have to take ownership. I take full responsibility and will do whatever it takes. I'll get up, I'll stay late. And that's why you point the finger saying, he did it, she did it, because you don't like how the pain feels. That's why you give the power away, because it hurts too much to say, I did it, I take ownership, it was my thoughts. You weren't ready for the pain. You've never looked at yourself in the mirror and said, you let you down. I am not phenomenally skilled, but I am phenomenally willful. My IQ may never change, but my will changes every year. I get stronger and more determined because it's in my DNA. I have found most people want to improve their input. You know, there are two things you must know if you really want to create wealth. You have to know where you are, and you have to know where you're going. Now that is so simple and obvious. Why are so many people stuck? Think about it for a moment. Really give it serious thought. I used to think, and I think most people do, that these people don't have goals, but they may not have taken a pen and clearly defined their goal. However, I think they do have a target. They want to make things better. I don't think that's where the problem is. I think the problem is right down here in where we are. Most people don't know why they're where they are. I have found one thing. Everyone knows how to do a better job than they're doing. That's not the problem. We do know how. The problem is we're not doing what we know how to do. Why aren't we? There's an answer to that. It's paradigms. Paradigms are the problem. Why are paradigms holding us back? We need to ask ourselves, what is a paradigm? A paradigm is a mental program that has almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior, and almost all of our behavior is habitual. Joel Barker wrote a book on paradigms back around 1990. He said to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm. Success is a doing. You've got to actually do it. Activity is a high priority in the life process to try to get the maximum benefit out of what we have available. Here's an important question. What is your philosophy about activity? What about hard work? What about long hours? What about full days? If you're doing something, how hard should you go at it? How much time should you put in? Everybody has to develop their own philosophy about activity. Just by way of review, let me quote the Old Testament, 6 days of activity, 1 day of rest. That's called a philosophy of the ratio of activity. What is a good ratio of rest and activity? The Old Testament says 6 days of one, 1 day of the other. We all need to have a philosophy about activity because your philosophy of activity will affect the rest of your life. To think otherwise is naive. Your gift will make room for you. What is your gift? It's the thing that you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. That's your gift? Quit running away from your gift. Your gift will make room for you. Stop trying to be something you're not gifted at. Every decision you make in your life impacts what you'll be doing 5 minutes from now. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe a year, maybe 10 years from now. Everything you decide to do today will have an impact on you in the future. Times have changed. The learners are going to inherit the earth, while the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. But you know there are a lot of people on the street like that. They think they're learned. There's no such thing as a learned individual. You're either learning or you're not. There's no such thing as an educated person. You say, wow, now where are you going with that? Well, education comes from the Latin educare, meaning to develop or to draw from within. Education isn't something you fill up and put a cap on. Huffer also said to learn, you need a certain degree of confidence, not too much and not too little. If you have too little confidence, you'll think you can't learn. If you have too much confidence, you'll think you don't have to learn. Unfortunately, I think we all fall into these categories all too often. There are times when we just don't think we can get it, and there are other times when we don't think we need it. The truth is, we have infinite potential. There is no one alive who can even guess what we're capable of doing. I have found the only way to improve our level of understanding is through study. There's no other way. To deal with change in our fast-moving world, you must develop your higher faculties. Einstein put it very well. He said, "The intuitive mind is a sacred gift. The rational mind is an obedient servant." He said, "We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift." Who do you have to unbecome to become the person you truly need to be? I had to unbecome being a disc jockey. I had to learn how to use my voice in a different way. I had to learn to let go of music and embrace reading 2 to 3 books a month because I wanted to be a dominant voice. I didn't want to be a black speaker. I wanted to be the speaker in the speaking industry. I'm the kind of person who, if I'm going to do it, I'm all in. I don't like being in between. I don't like being at the back of the line. I want to be at the front of the line, and I'm going to prepare myself and work on myself to be a dominant voice. I want to ask you, what's holding you back? What is your biggest single goal in life today? What holds you back from achieving it? What sets the speed at which you achieve the goal? What you do is prepare all your life, so when the opportunity comes, you can seize the moment. You can seize the moment. I want you to look at opportunity and change and transition. Instead of fearing it as a foe, look at it as a friend. The most dangerous word you could use day to day is hope. Hope is not a strategy. You must remove temptation if you are going to have self-discipline. You have to remove the temptation. It's really, really subtle. One of the things is by examining the way you think and how you act. We can become indecisive, have self-doubt, and simply fail to act. I need you to see yourself. One of the things that many students lack is vision. You've got to see yourself before you get there. You have to hear yourself telling yourself, "Thank you." Success is going to cost you something. People who want to be successful normally don't think about what it's going to cost them. Success is going to cost you way beyond money. It will cost you time and friendships. Success comes with a price that is normally bigger than what most people want to pay. I dare you to give up everything that is keeping you from your dream. I dare you to say no to all the negative influences. I dare you to pick up a book instead of a drink. I dare you to work harder than you did yesterday. I dare you to prove them wrong. The truth will set you free. The truth will stand and deliver you from procrastination, laziness, and the spiral that comes with a lack of discipline. So don't believe the lies. Believe the truth. The never stains. I'm sorry. And the truth is, you have time, skill, knowledge, support, willpower, and discipline to get it done. So cast out the lies, burn them down, and listen to the truth. Then live the truth and go out and get it done.